Good morning, everyone. Hope your morning is going well so far. Welcome to our new and returning attendees. Thank you for joining today's Spatial Innovation webinar. Today, we are discussing ArcGIS updates coming out of the 2022 Esri User Conference. As you know, the largest annual GIS summit, which would have happened this past July. Our presenter today is Miss Nicola Simpson-Lake, Senior Geospatial Solutions Specialist at Spatial Innovation, and I am Matthew Webster, Head of Geospatial Technologies at Spatial, and also today's session moderator. Today, Nicola will update you on the latest ArcGIS software updates coming out of the user conference. This includes ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Mobile, and ArcGIS Pro. So there's something for everyone in the GIS world. Should you have any questions during the presentation, please use the raise hand function or the Q&A feature or even the comment box, and we'll attend to each of them accordingly. And with that, I will now invite Nicola to share her presentation with you.
All right, good morning again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. As mentioned, we will be discussing what's new in ArcGIS coming out of the 2022 Esri User Conference. So your interest in this topic is greatly appreciated, and thanks again for being here with us. So for our agenda this morning, we will first have a look at what's new in ArcGIS Online. Then we will look at what's new in ArcGIS mobile apps. Lastly, we will discuss what's new in ArcGIS Pro. And for each of our topic, a video will be shared showing some of the updates discussed. Now, due to the time allotted and the length of the videos used in the presentation today, we will only be able to show you a small section of each video, and we'll provide you with links via email so you can view them in their entirety if wish. After which, we hope to hear from you and answer your questions. All right, so if you are new to Spatial's webinar series, first of all, welcome. As introduced earlier, I'm Nicola, and I'm the Senior Geospatial Solutions Specialist here at Spatial, and I am tasked with the responsibility of assisting you, our clients, in identifying what product best suit your needs based on projects being executed, whether short or long-term. So this webinar this morning is done specifically to introduce you to what's new and how they can simplify your tasks. So the three products we will be looking at today can be viewed as the process considered as field to finish, as they allow you to create authoritative data in Office, communicate with your officers in the field in real time, while allowing you to share your information with both private and public stakeholders. So our ArcGIS platform. ArcGIS supports three fundamental systems. These systems are the systems of records, which deals with all data, and in terms of your statistic department, this would be their demographic data, or your utility companies, this would be their light poles, transmission data. And next we have the system of insight. And this is where visualization and analysis are combined to accelerate decision-making. And finally, we have the system of engagement that deals with stakeholders and public engagement. So GIS efficiently delivers all three on a single platform to not only allow our users to accurately represent and understand their data, but also allows you to provide secure and authoritative data for widespread government, private, and public use. So our first topic that we're going to look at, or the first area of update we're going to look at, is ArcGIS Online. And ArcGIS Online is a cloud-based software that connect people, locations, and data using interactive web maps. It works with smart data-driven styles and intuitive analysis, while allowing you to share your insights with specific people or the entire world. Now, some of the capabilities of ArcGIS Online, as you would all know, is that it allows you to build interactive maps, share maps and apps with specific groups, allow you to collaborate effectively across your organization to build and use maps in a secure environment, help you to understand your data better through analysis. And finally, it allows you to work with your data by bringing it into a powerful system that enables, hosts, and scales. Now, as for the updates, 10 were made to the ArcGIS Online platform, and we will discuss some of these updates. We will identify others, and finally watch a video on these updates to provide you with additional information. So the first update we will look at is instant apps. And these are a series of configurable apps that allows you to provide intuitive mapping experiences for your audience. So within 5 minutes, you can select a template, choose configuration options, and share a web app to your intended audience. And there are app templates to address specific audience needs, as you can see on screen. We're seeing some of those templates. Now, the platform also provides suggestions to assist you in selecting the right app or template based on required tools, data to be used, intended audience, among others. Now, another update is for the Living Atlas, and this is where 3 updates were made. Now, the first one is the introduction of a global 3D data set of buildings and trees using OpenStreetMap, and this was added to ArcGIS Online. This will allow you to visualize changes anywhere in the world in 3D. Next access was provided to hundreds of imagery layers, providing you with the capability to now do an on-demand rendering. And finally, you can view recent and historic satellite imagery of anywhere in the world. And these historic imagery are stored in our archive in the Living Atlas. Now, the next update was made to Scene Viewer. And for those of you who use Scene Viewer, you will now be able to add weather effects such as rain, fog, etc. to your data. And you can also view future development by bringing in your data into Scene Viewer as well. Another update was made to enhance web editing. And this new feature to feature snapping and new geometry guide was added, which will allow you to create data more quickly and accurately. Now, some other updates made were enhanced search, and this allows you to view attribute information without leaving your search page. Now, when you perform a search and your layers and apps are shown on that search page, you can right-click on the layer and it will provide you with more details without you having to leave that search page. And the next enhancement was made to attribute editing. And for this update, you will now have access to domain-based dropdown and conditioning rules. This make a selection, the form, when you make a selection, sorry, the form will update with the correct field for you to enter your info. And for those of us who in your geodatabase where you would normally create your domains and your apply conditions, this is the capability that is now available in ArcGIS Online. And the next update is enhancement to ArcGIS dashboard. And this is one of the most requested features for dashboard. And it has now been added in the latest update where you can now configure your dashboard, allowing users to download data. Another update was support for arcade in dashboard. And this gives the ability, for you to use arcade to create simple expression in your dashboard, making quick decision at a glance. Now, for those of you who may not know, arcade is the latest language used by Esri, and it is used across the platform. The next update was flow style rendering, and this brings your static data to life, allowing you to see imagery layers to clearly understand patterns and trends. So for persons working with, for instance, ocean data, you would be able to show water temperature and flow direction. It's like an animation providing you with that information, showing you the flow of the water. And next we have special effects. And this is applying effects to your data into a more appealing map. So drawing attention or create special feature effects to emphasize or de-emphasize a particular area. So on screen, well, now we're going to have a look at some of those new updates mentioned. And this is coming out of UC 2022.
Good morning, everyone. It is great to be here again. Today, I'm excited to share a countdown of my top 10 favorite new features in ArcGIS Online. So, if you see one of your favorite new features, feel free to show a little enthusiasm. Let's start the countdown with my number 10. It allows you to share and elevate your work as focused applications. It's called Instant Apps. These are a series of configurable applications that enable you to turn your data into apps in a matter of seconds. Let me show you two examples of what you can do with Instant Apps. First, this interactive legend that's showing air quality and poverty data. Using new functionality, we can enable anyone to highlight the features they're most interested in, like these areas in red, showing high poverty and poor air quality. All by simply clicking anywhere on the legend. Next, the new chart app that shows one or more charts and displays them with a map. This one's investigating non-spatial trends in our data, connecting our charts with our maps. And these are just a few of the many powerful applications you can deploy with Instant Apps. Next, at number 9, let's check out 3 recent enhancements to the Living Atlas. We've added a global 3D data set of buildings and trees using OpenStreetMap. Now you can visualize anywhere in the world in 3D, from Istanbul with these towering mosques, all the way over to a little town in the US. Austin, Texas, seeing it all in 3D. The Living Atlas also has hundreds of readily available imagery layers that are updated frequently, including from the Sentinel-2 satellites. This data set has global coverage and a 5-day revisit rate at 10-meter resolution. And now, we've added support for on-demand rendering. Let's zoom into the recent black fire in New Mexico, where we can use this imagery to explore the fire by using color infrared to visualize healthy vegetation and shortwave infrared to better visualize burn scars. And now, you can view recent and historic satellite imagery anywhere in the world because we've added the entire Sentinel-2 archive to the Living Atlas. We've also added the US federal government's Justice 40 layer, identifying disadvantaged communities. This is a really powerful data set that can help us invest in our country in a more equitable way. Let's zoom into Los Angeles to get a better understanding of the distribution of this data at a more local level. Here, we can begin to understand why these communities are identified as disadvantaged through variables such as access to clean energy, legacy pollution, and many more, helping us understand equity as we invest in infrastructure. These are just a few of the many recent enhancements to the Living Atlas available to you now. Next, at number 8, let's go just across the street, right here in San Diego, to explore some recent enhancements to the scene viewer that enable you to create a more immersive experience. This scene is using a 3D mesh from Aerometrics. And now, let's add in the new weather effects with some clouds and rain. And if you like, even a little fog. Next, let's move through the fog to the construction site for the new San Diego State University football stadium, where we can even visualize future development by bringing in BIM models, like this one from Clark Construction, directly into the web scene. It's exciting. All right, at number 7 in my countdown, enhancements to search. Let's search for some content about protected bike lanes. And I'll go ahead and choose this layer since I'm from DC. Now, without leaving the page, we can view attribute information, quickly giving us that detailed information we always want to know when we're searching.
All right, so that's a short snippet of one of our videos. As mentioned before, we will provide you with links to all 3 videos we'll be viewing today via email. So the next product we will be looking at is what's new in ArcGIS Pro. So ArcGIS Pro is the world's leading GIS software. It is the powerful single desktop application, feature-packed software developed with enhancements and ideas from the ArcGIS Pro user community, which means you, the GIS community, played a role in the final output of this software based on your feedback. Now on screen, you can see Pro is a fusion of 4 different applications. You have ArcMap, Catalog, Globe, Scene, and City Engine. And all the capabilities from those 5 applications were combined into ArcGIS Pro to give you that single powerful application. Now, Pro supports data visualization, advanced analysis, and authoritative data maintenance in 2D, 3D, and 4D. It supports data sharing across a suite of ArcGIS products, such as ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise. And enable users to work across the ArcGIS system through WebGIS. Now, some other capabilities of this powerful geospatial tool allows you to integrate data from multiple sources, visualize data, edit and analyze your data, and finally share your work with the world. And with the latest capabilities, you will now have access to dynamic feature clustering. And what this allows you to do is it gives you the ability to visualize point features in clusters and identify most concentrated area. And because the clusters are dynamic, they will update as the scale of the map changes. The next update is animated symbols, which is an add-in for ArcGIS Pro. And this will help users to develop realistic animated symbols for in-place features that show movement. Now, this add-in provides a set of tools which automate the process of creating 3D symbols along with a stop motion animation ready to export to a video. Now, the illustration you're seeing on screen for the animated symbols, the windmills, they are supposed to be animated where the propellers would be spinning. So you'll get a better viewing of this in the video. Next, we have enhancement made to big data connections. And this allows you to quickly connect to data sources to visualize and analyze large data sets. So with this new enhancement, you will have the ability to connect directly to cloud data warehouses such as Snowflake, Amazon Redshift, and Google BigQuery. Now, once you're connected, all your data will display in your catalog theme for you to interact with, whether you're running a query or you're performing analysis. And for every analysis you perform, it will update to your cloud data storage. The next update was made to data engineering tools. And this advancement allows you to explore, visualize, clean, and prepare your data. You can now add and calculate all statistics in a single click to better understand your data. And it is illustrated here in your table. This is where you'll be able to perform all those tasks mentioned. And some other updates are Color Vision Simulator. And this new Color Vision Simulator allows you to adjust your maps to the various types of color deficiency, such as red, blue, or green. And these are the different color bands within your map. Now, this is making it accessible to all users. This was specifically updated to cater to someone who has a color vision deficiency, sometimes referred to as color blindness. Next, we have spatial analysis tools, new spatial analysis tools. Now, 3 new tools were added to the hydrology tool set to automate your process, which means less pre-processing of your data. Now, the first tool is the Derived Continuous Flow. And this tool addresses erroneous flow direction and accumulation through the application of least cost path algorithm. The next tool is Derive Stream as Line, and this generates streamlined features from an input raster, surface raster, with no prior sink or depression filling required. And the next one is Derive Stream as Raster, and this generates a stream raster from an input surface with no prior sink or depression filling required as well. All right, so now we'll view or video on ArcGIS Pro, showing you some of these new updates.
I'm excited to share with you today some of the many new enhancements to ArcGIS Pro. Let's first start by looking at dynamic feature clustering. This is a map with data from the Living Atlas, showing all the major storm centroids within the past week. Dynamic feature clustering shows us where the data is most concentrated. And because these clusters are dynamic, they will update as I change scales. We can vary the clustering radius to change the number of clusters on the map, and summary statistics can be added to show the average magnitude. Now the map can be symbolized to show the number of clusters as well as their severity. Zooming back out to the country level, we can bring motion to our data and see tomorrow's weather forecast with the new animated symbols. Let me show you how easy it is to use these. This layer shows the active wildfires that started within the past week. We can choose from a gallery of symbols, or we can add our own files. Here I'll choose this wildfire GIF and increase the size so we can better visualize the active wildfires. And if I want, I can pause my animations at any time. Next, let's look at the new enhancements with big data connections. And we can now connect directly to cloud data warehouses, including Snowflake, Amazon Redshift, and Google BigQuery. Here I'll connect to Google BigQuery, and once connected, all the data sets this warehouse contains are available right in my catalog pane. From there, we can enable feature binning to aggregate billions of points at different scales. Let's look at severe storms over the past 20 years, revealing vast differences in storm frequencies across the US. I can also search my cloud data warehouse by creating a query layer, which performs a SQL query and returns only a subset of the data. In this case, returning only flooding events with more than $1.5 million in property damage. Once the query completes, the data adds to the map and is ready for future analysis. Now let's head to Colorado. Data preparation and validation has always been time-consuming. But the data engineering tools streamline this process, allowing you to explore, visualize, and clean your data. With the latest release, we can now add and calculate all statistics in a single click, quickly calculating chart previews and summary statistics to better understand our data and its distribution. Using data engineering, we can also visualize the different attributes on the map, such as the number of properties by county or the average risk for the 100-year flood. We've also made improvements to ensure that your maps are more accessible with a new color vision simulator, which adjusts the map to the various types of color vision deficiencies. Next, I want to highlight some of our new spatial analyst tools. So let's zoom in to Southwest Colorado and San Juan County, just south of Silverton along the Animas River. This is a high-resolution digital elevation model from the USGS 3-Depth program, which we'll use to automatically delineate streamlines. In the hydrology toolset, I want to point out 3 new tools: Derive Continuous Flow, Derive Stream as Line, and Derive Stream as Raster. Taking a closer look at Derive Stream as Line, we can input our 1-meter digital elevation model and set an accumulation threshold. Let's see the results. Previously, pre-processing and hydroconditioning required a lot of manual work to make your DEM analysis ready. But now, this process has been automated, so less pre-processing and less hydroconditioning is necessary.
All right. So now we'll move on to our final topic for the morning. And here we're going to look at what's new in ArcGIS mobile apps. Now, ArcGIS is the core that glues mobile data collection solutions together, ensuring that both field and office workers use the same authoritative data, which allow you to reduce errors, boost productivity, and save money. So we typically like to describe field work in 6 phases. We have coordinate, plan, navigate, understand, capture, and finally, monitor. And Esri has a host of focused applications to handle each of these phases. For those of you who are familiar with Esri's platform, you will see there are many applications to suit many different use cases depending on your needs. But what if Esri could reduce the complexity, not only for mobile workers, but for project authors in the office, by combining a lot of these functionality into a single streamlined application? And this morning, we will look at 3 mobile applications of ArcGIS. As seen on screen, it is showing you ArcGIS field maps, Survey 123, and Quick Capture. And these applications can help your organization use GIS anywhere, saving time in getting information into the hands of decision makers. So now, as we know, many organizations are capturing data to support their mission, from our statistical office to our utility companies, health sectors, among others. Oftentimes, capturing data in the field is the backbone of the organization's success, and understanding which tool to use will also save time and money. Now, the 3 apps on screen were updated and presented at the 2022 UC. These 3 apps serve different purposes, and a simple way to think about them based on your needs is that Survey 123 is an app that should be used for form-centric workflows. Field maps should be used for workflows that require a map-centric interface. And Quick Capture should be used for workflows that are big button focused, where you need to capture data at speed, on the fly, on the move. And we will have a detailed look at all 3 apps in upcoming slides. So the first app we're going to focus on is ArcGIS Field Maps. And this is an all-in-one app with the capabilities of Collector, Explorer, and Tracker combined, providing access to your GIS anywhere and streamlining data collections. This app uses data-driven maps, as mentioned, to help workers perform data collection and editing, find assets and information, and report their real-time locations. Now, ArcGIS Field Maps is built upon the latest ArcGIS Runtime SDK and includes all of the advanced mapping viewing capabilities or native tools support. That includes advanced symbology with rendering and labeling using Arcade, the ArcGIS expression language. You can group layers and annotations. You can have pop-ups with attribute expressions, including support for feature sets. And last, it allows for auto updates with layer refresh. And now with the latest release, ArcGIS Field Maps supports data collection indoors, as well as providing alerts with the new GeoTrigger capability. So as mentioned, indoor position systems is now available in ArcGIS field maps. And this basically allows you to be able to collect data indoor. And the next update is ArcGIS field maps. And in this ArcGIS field maps is integrated with the location sharing function in your iOS. And it delivers notification alerts to an Apple Watch. Now, these notification warns users when they step into a dangerous location or enter a work area and provide additional instructions. Now, for those of you who have used or are aware of georeferencing capabilities in ArcGIS Enterprise, specifically through the use of our Geo Event Server, you will understand how major this update is. Because with this new functionality, you now have access to this capability without having to think about that backend support in terms of your human resource and your having the right infrastructure for implementation. With this new update, Esri is doing everything in the background, and all you have to do is just create your area of interest and apply the functionalities. All right, so the next app we will look at is ArcGIS Quick Capture. And when you need to collect simple spatial data with a few attributes and you don't have time for your field workers to fill out multi-question form, Quick Capture is your go-to app. Quick Capture is a rapid data collection app with a big button user interface. Using Quick Capture, you can record a field worker's location, an image, paradata from the device, which is the date and time, all in the background with one click of a button. The locations can be points, lines, or polygons, and your field workers can collect data at speed, even from a moving vehicle, while you scout locations, conduct aerial surveys, or assess damage. It allows you to send data back to the office for analysis in real time, and it eliminates time spent manually processing handwritten notes. So one of the major benefits of Quick Capture is that it cuts down training time for your field workers. And with its latest updates, users will now be able to use intuitive interface and voice recognition in the field, as well as the use of the oriented imagery widget. Now, as you can see on screen, the user face is very intuitive, and with the voice recognition capability, it now allows for rapid data collection in the field. And this, however, this is only available for iOS users. The voice recognition is only available for iOS users. So with the voice recognition functionality activated, a user can simply say the name of the feature to be collected, and the application will complete the process by populating all fields with required information, all hands-free. The next update is the oriented imagery, which allows photos taken through Quick Capture to be recorded with a georeferenced field of view, which can be plotted into a web map. Now on screen, we see data being viewed with the oriented image widget, and this widget allows you to interact with the picture, zoom in and out, as well as pan and add additional features. And additional features can be digitized, from the image and automatically appear on your web map. Now, the last app we will be discussing this morning is Survey 123. And this was designed to support your form-centric data gathering workflows. Now, Survey 123 is a system for designing surveys, collecting data, across platforms from the web to desktop and mobile apps, and analyzing survey results with pre-configured data visualization features. Survey 123 forms are location aware and allow you to bring all your data into ArcGIS for further visualization and analysis to support decision making. Smart forms can be used to collect research data, conduct inspections, assess damage, and more. Also, Survey 123 will make your workflows more accurate and efficient. It will save you time collecting data in the field and allow analysts in the office to monitor and work with data as it's collected in real time. Survey 123 also reduces the chance of human error in your workflow with features like pre-populated fields and eliminate the need to digitize paper forms. And with the latest updates, ArcGIS 123 will save your mobile workforce time with dynamic selection, customizable markup for symbology and online-offline capabilities. Now, the newest feature included in Survey 123 is the drawing tool palette or custom palettes. And this allows you to customize the markup actions so it is specific to your work. Now you can present specific drawing tools to users align with the task at hand and speed up data collection. In other words, you're now able to capture pictures at a survey location and make notes, identify modifications required. And this will save to your survey and be accessible in Office for further analysis. All right, so now we will view our last video for this presentation, and this one is on the latest updates for mobile apps.
ArcGIS mobile apps lets you take your GIS anywhere, allowing you to capture new data, online and offline, outdoors and indoors. Let's start with ArcGIS Quick Capture, a rapid data collection app. It can be configured for many workflows, and today we'll use Quick Capture with one of Esri's solution templates. This is the road debris reporter, and you can see the app's big button user interface. Let's say we come across some road debris. In Quick Capture, I'll tap the rubble icon to take a photo. Without any additional input, Quick Capture has recorded a point with my location, username, date and time, GPS accuracy, and new device variables, like my battery percentage and my email address. Quick Capture makes data collection simple, and it has the option for hands-free dictation. So from a moving vehicle, all you have to do is say, litter. Say litter. Plastic bottle. Submit. And I've captured another point. Back in the office, we can review the data that we've just collected. I can see all of the attributes for my new data, including the picture it took in the background of the screen behind me. Using the new Oriented Imagery widget in Experience Builder, we can also use Quick Capture to view a georeferenced field of view for each photo we take. So if I want to see what's at a location, I just have to select it, and it brings up the georeferenced image. This also allows me to digitize new features. So, for example, I can add a point for each fire hydrant I see, and that feature is automatically going to be added to our map. Now, Quick Capture is optimized for rapid data collection. For form-based data collection, we'll use ArcGIS Survey 123. Today, we'll be doing a tree maintenance survey. And this one looks like it could use some pruning. I'll enter the tree species, as well as the width and the height. Now my protection status and class are auto-populated for me, and as I enter the condition, my options for the action will dynamically update. Now, since I said that this tree needs some pruning, we'll take a photo to identify the specific branches to remove. This form was designed with a drawing tool palette, a new feature that allows you to customize the markup options so they're specific to your workflow. As a result, photos taken with this survey can be easily interpreted, identifying which branches to prune and identifying hazards like a beehive. Now, as I finish up my survey and sign off, I can submit my data immediately since my device is online. If I was capturing data offline, I could save my work in the outbox and submit all of my surveys when I return to an area with connectivity. Now you've seen quick capture for rapid data collection and Survey 123 for a form-based workflow. For map-based data collection, some of you are familiar with Explorer, Tracker, and Collector. Now we have ArcGIS field maps, one app which combines and improves upon the functionality of all three. Field Maps lets you take your GIS anywhere. So let's say we're outside the convention center, here in San Diego, performing an asset inspection on the trolley system. I'll drop a point at the location of a damaged rail. Now, because I configured this form using new arcade calculations, many of the fields have been filled for me. It's pulled my name from my ArcGIS Online account, as well as data from nearby features, like the routes and their ridership, and the closest stop location. All that's left for me to do is enter that our rail has been damaged, and I can submit my report. Now, I've mentioned that the ArcGIS mobile apps let you take your GIS anywhere. So far, I've been showing you outdoor workflows. With the latest release of field maps, we now support indoor data collection using indoor positioning systems, or IPS. So let's take a look inside the convention center. We can select the different floors and view the data on each, down to the first floor with the plenary hall. You can even see my blue dot standing here on the stage. Now I'm about done, so I'm going to unplug my phone. I have one more thing to show you. In this release of field maps, we're introducing geo-triggers. Using your location, field maps can send you an alert when you enter or exit an area. So say you're working at an electric facility and you don't have the necessary safety training to enter an area. When you cross the threshold, you can receive an alert. Or say I'm giving a big presentation in front of a large audience and I'm very nervous, so I start wandering and getting further and further from my assigned podium, dangerously close to the edge of the stage. When I get too close, I can get an alert on my Apple Watch telling me to take a step back. Now, this location sharing integration with the Apple Watch is another example of having your GIS anywhere. Online, offline, outdoors, and indoors. Your GIS can go anywhere you go. Thank you.
All right, so that is the last video for our presentation. Right, so we have come to the end of our webinar, and we would like to thank you for joining us today. On screen, you will see my contact information. Please feel free to contact me for additional information. And at this time, I will now open the floor for questions. Please type them in the chat available. All right, we have one question here from Mr. Noel, and he's asking if the drawing tool palette in Survey 123? Is it available in both the browser and Survey 123 Connect? It is available in both. All right. We have a comment here from one of our attendees that he's impressed with the GeoTrigger. He has used it with his team in the field, and they're saying geo event server is required, or no, he's asking if geo event server is required, or can GeoTrigger now be enabled via ArcGIS Online. So the GeoTrigger can be enabled via ArcGIS Online. It comes with your field map. So geo event is not needed. All right. Right, so we'll leave the presentation open for a few more questions. We have another question, and does it not have to be an Apple Watch, right? For the GeoTrigger, presently it is, it's Apple device. Any Apple device with location activated can be used with it. So it's not specifically just your Apple Watch. All right, a comment from Sarah that she is impressed with the new updates and can't wait to use the drawing tool. And I really do hope you will all try out some of these new updates and also watch the videos, which I will send you the links for at the end of this webinar. There's so much more available in the video for you to view, and we really want you to experience all the new updates. All right, so we'll leave this presentation open for a few more questions. And as I said before, if they're not coming to you right now, you can always send me an email, or, well, send me an email and I will contact you. All right, if there are no more questions at this time, we would like to thank you again for joining us. And please feel free to reach out to us via email for any additional information required.